Hi folks, we're gonna do something a little bit different today. On the other hand, it's not that different, but these are some of the ingredients we're going to use. Let's have a look. Pretty straightforward. Chicken, chicken, and funny enough, egg, some flour, a little seasoning, and some of these babies. This is called pork crunch. It's crackling. Some you get very hard crackling. This is I don't know how to do it really. It seems to be pumped up with something, but it's the stuff that's like that. So it's actually crackling off pork, but it's somehow done like that. And a plastic bag. And what we're going to make is chicken coated in pork crackling, so you get this lovely flavour of chicken breast. And this is chicken breast mini fillets. It's that little tiny sliver of chicken that you, if you ever look at a chicken breast, there's a little tiny sliver in with it. These are the little slivers. But yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to make a coating for these. Now some people just use this and they crush it up. This maybe won't be so bad, but if you use the other type of crackling, the harder one, and when you look at it, there is a lot of actual fat on it as well. It gets very greasy, and when you crush it up, it does tend to not be that great for coating. So what I always do is I throw a little bit of flour in just to break that down. Excuse me. On the other, I do this every time with my words. On the other hand, you could use some of this, which I shall grab out my cupboard if I can find it. Where is it? This should have been done before, but what the heck. Ta-da! Breadcrumbs. So in there you can throw a little bit of flour, you can throw a little bit of breadcrumbs, up to you really. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of those in. Let's have a look. We'll use 2 packets. I'm not sure how this is going to break down, but let's do this. Let's put a little bit of this flour in the bag, just to, it's all going to make a coat in it, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, you want to smell it though. It's not the best smell in the world. It smells like dead stuff. Put it in the bag. Give it a good pounding. The other thing that you can do is, if you don't want to be whacking it away with your hand, is to use one of these babies, a rolling pin. This one I found a long time ago. It's marble, lovely and heavy. Just give it a good old crush and roll about. And I've got this on a marble board, which isn't ideal. You're probably best to use a tea towel or something underneath the bag to stop it rolling all over the place. but you're getting the drift. Yes, we're coming along here. Now, when you do this, it's up to you how you want it to be. You want it to be pretty chunky. You want it to be pretty smooth. You know, you'll sort of make that decision yourself. For me, I like it pretty smooth. So we're gonna whack this down pretty well. And there we go, that's that bit done. Give you an idea what it looks like. It's now like that, which is fairly chunky, but it's not too bad at all. So we'll just give you an idea what that looks like. Okay, there you have it. It's pretty fine. That'll make a nice coating on the chicken. So I'm not going to do a lot, so we don't need a lot today. This is pretty soft, so you can make up any bigger chunks that you want to do, but that's what it should look like. Okay, so you know what that looks like now. So really it's just really getting round to coating the chicken. So we got the crumbs we just made from the crackling. We've got some flour that I've put in this dish with a little bit of seasoning. Now, don't go stupid on the seasoning because the crackling is always pretty salty, so you're going to end up going ugh. So be very careful. I'd go as far as to say, especially with the other type of crackling, I wouldn't even put any seasoning in there. Little bowl in there, I put a little tiny bit of water. You can use milk, but I just want to thin it down a little bit. And I'm going to use 1 egg. Break it into the bowl. And let's get this bit of eggshell out. We don't want to be eating that later. And give it a good whisk up. You can use a fork, you can use a whisk, doesn't matter. I could have done all this before, can I? But I just prefer you to hear me rattling on and clanking pots about. You can just use water, you can just use milk, you can make a flour mix very thin so it sticks a bit better. We'll do it the old traditional way, shall we? There you go, I don't know if you can see it, it's on my board. Where it doesn't want to be, does it? That'll teach me. Okay, chicken I've opened, and just to show you what I mean, there's the little slivers. They look like a little tiny chicken breast. They're not chicken breasts that's been cut up, it's a little sliver that comes out there. I've been picking it up with 2 hands now, so it's defeating the object, but if you can, use 1 hand, keep the other one dry. You're not going to pick up all sorts of gunk on that. You're not going to get all the stuff on it. What you do now is dip it in the flour, get a nice little coating of flour onto that like that, dip it into the egg. The flour's just there to help it to adhere to the chicken. There you go. Into the mix what we just crushed up. Give it a little bit of a toss around. And there you go, coated. I'll just do one more piece. Yeah, you'll get really bored if I'm doing the whole lot. Dip it in the flour, get it coated into the egg mix, into that, give it a good old toss around in there, and then again you've got a nice coated piece of chicken. So I'll get on with this, do a little bit of cleaning up, then we'll come back and we'll have a look at what it's going to be like when it's cooked, succulent and tasty to eat. Okay, we're back, washed up, cleaned up, it's all nice and tidy again. Chicken that's been coated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces on a dish here, which we'll have a look at in a minute, and we'll go through the cooking process. I'm going to put it into a pan of hot oil. You can cook it all the way through that way. I like to do it that way, so I set it, then put it in the oven and finish it off. I like to be a bit more picky with chicken, because if you don't cook that boyo in the middle, you can be ending up with some chippy tummies. So always make sure your chicken is cooked. I did have a probe, took it to my daughter's, came back, I don't know where the heck I put it. Must buy a new one. Anyway, so let's go and do the cooking bit. Okay, coated chicken. So now all we've got to do is wait for the oil to hot up and make sure that it is pretty hot oil. If it's not, all that coating's just gonna come flying off and it will have been totally pointless. Okay, the oil's ready now. As you can see, that little bit sizzling at the top. Just throw a little bit in there, and if it's sizzling, you're on the way. If it just sits there doing nothing, forget it for a little while. Okay, so I'm doing this one-handed now, so I'm probably going to have a little bit of camera shake, but let's give it a go. That's what you want. Now this doesn't want to be cooked too long, otherwise you're going to brown the coating to hell, and then by the time it comes out the oven it's going to be black. So do it that side just for a minute or two, turn it over just to brown that side as well, and then we do the other 3 pieces straight into the oven. Okay, that's the 3 pieces. I've just turned them over. I didn't want to do it with one hand because it would be a terrible bit of filming. But that's what it looks like when you turn it over. So a couple more minutes that side. I'll take them out onto the tray, do the other 3 pieces, then we'll come back and you can have a look what they look like. Chicken's out the pan, and that's what it looks like. Don't need it any darker than that, otherwise we'll have problems in the oven. So now we don't want the oven too hot that we're going to go too far with that coating, but we need to cook that chicken. Like I said, if you're brave, you want to do it that way, do it in the fat. Just keep it going till that chicken's done. If I had the probe, I'd probably do that today, but I don't. So I want to make sure that I get to the middle of that chicken. So there you go, that's going in the oven now. I'll come back when it's out. And there we have it. The chicken's out the oven. Chicken, little mini fillets, coated with pork crackling. The best of both worlds, the flavour of chicken, the flavour of pork crackling. Excellent. Just cut one in half, make a little dip. Delicious. Nom nom nom.